What's up, YouTube? So here's one. It's a little bit different. This is not about targeted individuals, okay? But does have a little bit to do with gang stalking in general because it's all connected. But this is somebody who I discovered, and I want to promote his channel. Generally specific, just from my first impression and second and third, it's great content. Very unbiased, and he's on the same track that a lot of us are on in trying to educate the public about their rights. And that's what is important. Get away from the identity thing. This video, it was a Chile chat, right? It was talking about, Chile DeCastro, but what's going on with Chile is relevant because of your rights and what's going on right now. But they're trying to take your rights. They're trying to step on your rights. Most people don't even know they have them. So if they take your rights before you even realize you had them, you don't know what you lost. You don't know what you missed. But when you learn your rights, you realize the power that we have and the power that they're taking away from us. So that's what this video is about. Here's just a quick little intro. Same thing with you. I agree with everything you just said because I didn't realize all my rights that I had.
Yeah.
And if you learn your rights, people don't realize how much power you have. You have way more power than you realize.
And that makes you a target if there's not enough people around you that are saying, yeah, those are rights. I mean, do you know how encouraging it is? Like, say you're at a post office, you're at some kind of limited forum, whatever, and you're not doing anything that's against the law. And someone behind the counter is giving you crap, and then another customer comes over and says, what are you doing, dude? He has every right to do this. That's strength. Go ahead, know your rights. Yeah.
I'd just like to put out to anybody, I've been in the chats trying to get people to at least email me. I understand that there's a lot of whack jobs out there that want to follow you around because you have a good belief in something that you're trying to do for the general public so that we're not getting beat up and shot over acorns, So if anyone cares to email me, they can email me at letsotvo, one word, at gmail.com. I've given open invitations and have provided my phone number to people that I think I can trust that wouldn't betray me and just give it to a bunch of trolls. I'm not going to give my phone number here, but the people that have received it have it. I'd like your assistance, GS, to figure out why I'm unable to comment on your chats, but I can appear on your show. I'm not even able to give you a super chat for some reason. So
I can't. That's something you're probably going to have to look. You're going to have to do some research on. Listen, man, I got so much on my plate right now. Getting to the bottom of your technical problems, which could be 100% on your end. It could be the YouTube doing something to you. It could be somebody hacked you. I have no idea what it could be. I will try to do the best I can. I just like to let my yeses be yeses and my no's be no. And if I can't commit to something, and because I don't know what it is, then I don't know how I can help you, brother.
No problem.
But I'll look into it. I'm not trying to leave you to the wolves, man. But I've got joyfully. Don't feel sorry for me. Joyfully, I've got a lot on my plates because I have a lot planned to make content for those that have subscribed and have memberships. There's a lot coming, guys. There's a lot of good content coming. This is just the beginning.
But for those who care to know, Ask Michael Leline will be doing a live today at 4 o'clock Mountain Time. He's been doing a little, this is his fourth part expose on with Chile. And he'll also be having Here's the Deal coming on Monday with him. So it's just something that the people, I'm sure, know that it's going to be happening. Other than that, I have great respect for everyone on the panel. Jonesy, I communicate back with you back and forth. I just wish that there was a place that we could go, that we could talk. And I'm glad that you did this live thing so that our voices can be heard. I could go on channel, but I'm using a tablet, and to try to hold it so you can see my face makes it difficult. I've always been better with my words than my in my spoken word than I am with texting. or
Okay.
chatting.
Hey, don't
Yeah,
forget,
go ahead.
buddy.
I'm done.
No. I don't want you to be done. I want you to read when I put something up. You got to
Okay,
take a
cool.
moment to go ahead.
End qualified immunity. I have more cause than most not to like Chile, but we came to an understanding, and I always supported him.
Got another one for you.
Stephanie Jenks, generally specific, he is shadow banned. He needs to be unsubscribed and resubscribed.
Have you tried that?
Yeah, I've done that on all 3 of my devices. I've rebooted my computers. I've rebooted my phone. I've rebooted my tablet. I've come in. I've made a chat. I can see the chat. No one responds. I get out of the app. I go back into the app, and my comment is gone. It's just beyond. I just don't know what's going on. That's
Go
all.
ahead. No, your rights.
I wanted to. Yeah, I know exactly what it is. Like literally half of the things I write in response to other comments on YouTube are immediately deleted, removed. It's censorship. YouTube puts the power of censorship on the platform in the hands of the peers you're trying to communicate with. So if they click on your comment, or they can do it like instantly. And when I write a comment now, I write the comment, I go in, I copy and paste it, and then I put it in a notepad. And then what I have to do to get it to post is I have to come back and say something like, hi, let that stick, go back in, remove the hi, and then upload the comment. Because they vanish. If you use the wrong words, like AI is in charge of deleting and censoring specific words. So if you use like murder too many times, kill too many times, any language like that.
Well, stop saying that on my channel, dude. I'm trying to stay monetized.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just trying to help enlighten people. But the censorship is real. I mean, it is on YouTube. It is extraordinary what I've recently been experiencing, and it's kind of new. Like in the last few weeks, I'm like, man, like 100% of my comments used to stick. Now it's like half, approximately.
I guess that's what I'm having a trouble with. I'm a firm believer that, yes, we do have the freedom of speech, but the content creator and the YouTube provider, they can control our speech to a certain degree. But I tend to always try to be respectful and utilize my words properly. And I've tried to instill that on some of the people that I've had to chat with. It's just unfortunate that it just appears to be only on this particular platform and this particular content provider that I'm having trouble with my chats. I'll get it worked out. I'll just have to lay low for a month or two, I guess. I don't think that there's a problem with GS. I know I'm not being blocked or anything on his end.
It's definitely not on my end.
It's just it's for 2 months. I don't operate any differently than I've done. I just think it may be a coincidental thing that because my YouTube handle is, let's overturn Terry versus Ohio, and we've got a prominent person that is pushing that cause. That maybe, just maybe, Big Brother's got their thumb over my mouth.
Why don't you try to change your name? Because it could be the FBI, it could be CIA, it could be any of the alphabet soup groups that are doing it to you, man. Just change your name. Your message can still kind of get out there. You just have to be clever with how you get it out there. But I'm not saying that you can do it like every certain amount of days. You can change your screen name.
Yeah,
Let's is our spearhead.
obviously, Let's OTVO is not my real name. I just have one of these names that, could be easily Googled. And next thing you know, I'm being criticized for whatever people want to criticize me for in my life. Mm-hmm. I always try to look at things as, what am I doing today? What am I doing today? Because we learn every day. I have 66 years on this planet. All right. I tend to think about the past a lot more than I do the future. But recently, in the last 2 months, I've been thinking more about the future, not necessarily for myself, but for my son, or my grandson. I think what's happened in the world is we've just lost the ability to actually, truly communicate. We're relegated to a chat. We're relegated to Facebook. We can't even get to a doctor unless we have a chat with him. Uh, you go to a public meeting and you get 3 minutes to talk. And Lord forbid you say anything that they don't want you to hear, then they drag you out. All right. It just astounds me what the world has come to. And with that, I appreciate you, everybody. I'm going to drop out of the chat. I've got to get ready for Michael Eheline here in a couple hours. Hopefully, I'll be able to chat with him, and if not, we'll be up on the screen and on the panel with him.
Roger. And I'm gonna be calling it, I think, too, because I haven't heard from CC in a minute. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it here.
Thanks, Todd.
No, I appreciate you. Go ahead. 1 second.
Hey, Let's. If I could make a recommendation to you, Brick, too. You guys both have like radio type personalities, in my opinion. You should both develop your own YouTube channels and platforms and have panels like GS is having now, because it is more meaningful.
I've been trying to get that together. I've got to get with my son, who's a little bit more technologically advantaged than I am. You need to get the right proper equipment, and
you don't need a lot, man. I'm telling you.
I know. I'm doing it right now on a tablet. It's just the idea that it's kind of hard to get different things up there when you're talking and all that kind of thing.
Well, I would agree too.
We're definitely going to work it out, because when you're young, you don't really want to step on a bunch of people's heels, because you got that much more time to sit in a jail cell. Well, when you get to the end of your road, you say to yourself, well, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out with a bang.
Yeah.
Hey, Let's first, right?
Yeah. Let's OTVO, all one word, at gmail.com. If you, I don't know why anybody. Excuse me.
Isn't it with a Z? LETZ?
Yeah, LETZ, OTVO at gmail.com. Anyone that knows me, that knows how I've responded in Chili's chats and at GS's chats, I'm the most cordial, friendly individual that you'd ever know. I don't have any preconceived notions about anything. I take the person for what they're doing, not what they've done. All right?
And where are you out of, Let's?
Well, I was born in Vermont, and I'm out of Albuquerque.
What part of Vermont?
I'm here in Albuquerque because my son's here in Albuquerque and my grandson's in Albuquerque. Right.
I used to live in Vermont.
I did my time in the military, and I just, I can't say I'm distraught, because that's what the trolls want to hear. I'm just disappointed in our justice system. I took it upon myself that last night. I actually found the judge's email address, or at least how to respond to her, and I put together a very cordial email, basically saying that in my opinion, that there was no crime committed, there was no rule or law violated, that Mr. DeCastro did back up according to the evidence, that he did disengage from talking to the driver, even though both of the last two he was under no obligation legally to do. And it appears that the bailiff got his butt hurt in court when Chile told him that he didn't need to have directives from a marshal who's there supposedly for security and safety of the court. And the way Chile sits in a bench has nothing to do with security or safety. And that not only did the bailiff get his butt hurt, but it started out with the officer getting his butt hurt in front of the driver. Well, if the driver was dismissed by the police officer, why did he continue to attack Chile? Well, he attacked him. Guess what's the best cover for an attack? He didn't follow my orders. Officer safety.
Officer safety.
Well, that's where we're at. Officer safety. Right back to OTVO. And it's a tough one. Yep. When I tell the judge that, and I told her that I believe that she was also butthurt on the stand. She was asking Chile questions. She says, "Hey, aren't you just out there for the clicks and the hits kind of thing? Isn't this going to be good for your YouTube? You just want people to this, you know? Well, CNN makes money when they put their news out. Fox does the same thing."
All right,
he was exercising his constitutionally protected activity to film in public and officers in the performance of their duties. With that, I am done.
Okay,
I am done.
I'm just trying to take my show over for a second, man. Hey, listen, there's obviously a need for this. There's obviously a market for this because I'm kind of exhausted. I've been fighting the flu. But I don't want to quit because you guys still want to talk, but I have to. But I just want to acknowledge good guy activism. If you are interested in reaching out to me, Melissa speaks highly of you, and I'd love to do an interview. I just need 7 days notice. Pick a Eastern time noon day. It can be on the weekends if that works better for you. Reach out and we'll have a high noon. I'll put together a tribute video for you. I'll look at the body of your work and I'll put together a tribute video for you. And man, I'm just repeating myself. Daisy May, good to see you. I just want to say hi to. All right, let's go ahead and drop down because I don't want you to. Just go ahead and drop down, brother. I'll see you next time, and I'm gonna let people say goodbye and give their piece before. Try to leave it to like less than 3 minutes. We'll pretend we're at a council meeting. Go ahead. You had your finger up there. Know your rights.
Yeah. I just want to say one last thing. If you're involved in a criminal case, even a civil case, what you have to remember is as soon as you walk into that courtroom, it is psychological warfare. So when that marshal in the courtroom walked over to Chile, it was intentionally to try to get him off tilt, to get him to piss him off, which is exactly what he did, and it worked. And their objective is to throw you off, to rustle your feathers, to irritate you before the proceedings. So you just have to remember that they've done it to me. The prosecutor was like, "Hey, the attorney that you just fired has lost her phone. This is not an accusation that you stole it, but do you know where it is, or do you have it?" And I'm like, and this was like 1 minute before the judge walked in, and I was like having a panic attack. I'm like, she's basically telling me I have enough power. If she alleges you stole her phone, I have enough power to arrest you for felony theft. Right before my hearing started, where I was representing myself for the very first time.
All right.
So it's psychological warfare. I'm done.
You're done. All right, man. Hey, I really enjoyed it. Reach out to me. Seriously, reach out to me at porchdicknation@gmail.com. If you need a reminder, just watch this video again. And
can you spell it out real quick?
It's porch, as in you're sitting on a porch. It's dick, as in the thing that I'm guessing you have between your legs. And nation, as in the nation we live in, at gmail.com. So porch.
All right, I got you.
And it's towards the end of the video. It's on the Chiron. It's on the scroll down the bottom there if you need it.
Cool.
I want to thank you.
I appreciate all you guys. Yeah.
All right. And make sure that you kind of give me an idea of who you are and that we had a conversation and stuff like that. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Looking forward
I know your rights.
Yes, sir. All right, man. All right, Brick, you got the last word. Well, second to last word.
Second to last. Cool. Yeah. Brother man, this has been wonderful. Thank you. It's been awesome.
Let us sit and reason together.
Yeah, man. I did want to put this out there since I get a final word. I don't follow any man. No, I don't. But it would be cool to see Chile as a governor. That'd be pretty cool. He could put in some pretty good policies. I do believe. I'd love to see Terry versus Ohio put to the dirt. That'd be great. The problem with Terry versus Ohio is it does allow some pretty stupid rules like what we saw in that courtroom. The decorum of the courtroom has been made tyrannical because of Terry versus Ohio, right? And also the policies and procedures and protocols within the police departments and in the prosecutor's office and everywhere you go, it's always officer safety, right? Got to protect those officers. But yeah,
well,
I mean it's gotta get done, man. But yeah, great, man.
Well,
it's awesome.
Well, the interesting thing is, as I've said before, and I don't want to spark a whole nother conversation because I find these things to be very fascinating. But why is it that we're responsible to care about officer safety, but it's been adjudicated that the officers don't have to worry about our safety? As far as the SCOTUS has determined that they can wait till we're dead, come in and write a report. They don't have like what do you call it? Valdi, or I forget
That's
exactly.
Horrible, huh?
Sorry, guys. I'm drugged out. My wife brought me like some Theraflu and that's that nasty shit. I was trying to, pardon my French, trying to choke down there. Yeah, it was a good show, Melissa. And Target Patton, I'm gonna give you like, please be quick, brother, because I listen, man. I'd love to sit here for another 5 hours, but I need to get into bed.
I will.
But,
I promise.
Right, go ahead. Brother.
I just got triggered when he said about the psychological warfare. It is spot on. That's what they do. That's the game. I just wanted to chime in and speak on that. That's all they've done to me for the last 4 years. It's play psychological warfare on me. So pay attention to that.
I'm gonna recommend Sun Tzu, Art of War. I'm gonna recommend that you read that.
The Art of War.
Yeah, Sun Tzu, The Art of War. He's a Chinese philosopher. Oh my goodness, you're gonna kill me. No, you're right.
Thank you for letting me speak there. I appreciate it. I just wanted to say thanks for having me today.
No problem.
And thanks.
Go ahead. No, you're right.
I just wanted to let that guy know, Target. Anybody that's listening to this on my channel, I added my email to my description. So if you're facing a similar situation that I'm facing, that 8 million Americans faced in 2022. That's how many Americans were arrested. I would guess to say 25% of them were probably unlawful. So, if anybody wants to reach out to me, has a story, please, by all means. I'd love to help you if I can.
Gotcha. I'm still trying to figure out, the Walrus gifted 5 memberships, and I have yet to see that it went out to anyone. And by the way, CJ Grisham would be very interested in having perhaps a future debate or conversation, not a debate, perhaps a conversation about the virtues of Terry v. Ohio being overturned or remaining. I'll allow him to posit his thoughts on it. And I don't want to speak for the man, even though we are chatting back and forth in text, and I'll let his words be his words. And they're very fascinating, very interesting, and I wouldn't mind kind of moderating it because I think I could learn from that. That said, thank you to the new member, the Creators Trust, the Walrus for gifting 5 subs. I don't even know if it went through. I don't know what's going on with it. I try to give out 10 free subs that I can get every month. I'll have to look into it. And King Bluto for the $5 super chat. I appreciate you, man. And with that, all right, brother, we got a piece, man.
Be good or be good at it.
Yeah, y'all stay strapped, stay frosty, and be dangerous, like Black Scout Survival says. All right, guys, I'm gonna jump you out here so that way you don't have to mess with your phone, man. All right, there we go.
Gotcha.
I'll remove him from. Take care. All right, there you go. Never mind, he figured it out. All right, Brick, you take care, man. I'm glad it worked out that we weren't enemies, man, and because I definitely don't need any more enemies in my life.
Love, brother, man.
Love you back, man, and we'll keep pursuing Christ, right? That's our goal. All right, we'll talk to you later, man. All right. All right, I'm gonna say my goodbyes. Wow, I'm like really big right now. I don't like that. Let's do this. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna do a little outro. Tomorrow at noon is going to be my my premiere, my normal premiere for the non-members that'll be able to have an opportunity to look at the Lawrence accountability high noon that we have coming this Friday coming up on the 29th at noon Eastern. I hope to see you there. If you are interested also in, if you are an interesting person and you have an interesting story and you want to give me a little kind of cliff note version of it, or if you have particular things that you're passionate about and you think that it'd be interesting to have a conversation, you don't have to be an auditor, but I want to give auditors an opportunity to put forth something they're passionate about. I hope that you'll understand that I will give you a fair shake. I will treat you decently with respect, and I expect the same in return. That said, my emails are open. You can slip into my DMs, as it were. Nothing creepy, but I'm gonna go ahead and do an outro here, and I appreciate you guys. I really do, and I hope you all have a blessed evening. And again, I'm all about the truth. So go ahead, man.
Yeah. So if Chile is as intelligent as we believe he is, and he went into it knowing there was a high probability he was going to go to jail, he may have tried to develop a strategy to draw the bias out of the judge, and that may have been the reason that he acted seemingly so inappropriately. So it would be so obvious to everyone to give his appeal some real merit.
Yeah. Hold on. So we got. I got to bring up Targeted Patton real quick. Go ahead, Targeted Patton.
I have a different outlook on the whole thing because I'm coming from the targeted individual community.
Mm-hmm. Which is, can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, basically, well, I didn't know what was going on. I had all these people following me and doing weird shit. My neighbors were doing weird stuff, just weird, the weirdest stuff you can imagine. So that if I told people about it, it would sound crazy, and then they would proceed to, discredit you and try to convince everybody that you're crazy. They do a lot of really weird tactics, and I followed this community, the whole time. But for the last 4 years, I've learned these tactics, and now I spread awareness about it. And a lot of people don't realize that they do these things, some of the tactics that they use. And like my lawyer, I was targeted. They broke into my apartment unannounced without a warrant, arrested me at gunpoint in front of my 12-year-old son. And then they started spreading all this disinformation and everything. And I learned my rights. That's right when I found Chile. And that's right when I learned my rights. So like he saved my ass. Well, I saved my own ass, but it was because of Chile and learning my rights. I found my power and everything.
Well, that's a good testimony. I'm going to respond to that real quick because I want to kind of second that, and not just Chile, but man, I mean the auditing community in general. And like even know your rights, and he and I are probably at the same cusp of wanting to step out and do some of our own auditing, and eventually we're gonna. I've learned so much, not only about. I mean, look, I've raised my right hand and swore an oath to the Constitution. I didn't. Yes, I had duties. I didn't have rights at the time. But I didn't even know how many rights I wasn't using, or how much I shouldn't have talked to I didn't even know until I started watching the audit community. So I will always have an eternal gratitude for everyone that I've watched in the auditing community. Go ahead, Target. If you want to respond to that?
I swore that oath too, and I'll uphold that oath until the day I die. I was a combat engineer in the National Guard, the Army National Guard. So it blows my mind sometimes though that the police take the same oath. And they don't. I have yet to find one that takes it seriously. It's like they don't even understand the oath that they took.
Yeah,
I think the military and police is similar, but there's a big difference as far as what it instills in you, in your being. And then same thing with you. I agree with everything you just said because I didn't realize all my rights that I had.
Yeah.
And if you learn your rights, people don't realize how much power you have. You have way more power than you realize.
And that makes you a target if there's not enough people around you that are saying, yeah, those are rights. I mean, imagine, do you know how encouraging it is? Like say you're at a post office, you're at some kind of limited forum, whatever, and you're not doing anything that's against the law. And someone behind the counter is giving you crap. And then another customer comes over and says, what are you doing, dude? He has every right to do this. That's strength. Go ahead. Know your rights.
Yeah, so I I briefly told you about my hit and run.
Mm-hmm.
That happened 3 days after I delivered a 12-page motion to dismiss and 10 days before my trial.
Say that one more time.
Yeah, so I've been a motorcyclist. I've been riding motorcycles for like my whole adult life. I've never had any close encounters. I'm very, very cautious. You know, safety is always paramount for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was involved. I've been involved in it is a prosecutorial misconduct and malicious prosecution case where I was attacked at a campground. I was jumped about midnight. I was alone, and one of the people, one of the females that was there were 4 of them, 2 men and 2 women. One of the females decided to grab her camera after one of the guys had just got done strangling me, and I had gotten off the ground, and I was not happy about it. You know, they attempted to murder me. And they attempted to murder me and fight me and attack me because I asked them questions about their behavior earlier in the night, which was horrible. And other people from the camping area ran out and reprimanded them for this behavior. So I didn't know it was them. They invited me over, and I asked them a couple of questions after sitting down with them for like 5 minutes or so. And the one guy he lost it. He jumped up. He charged me. He chest bumped me. I pushed him. He started swinging on me. I started swinging back. I immediately was like, these people are going to kill me, drag me out from the woods, bury me in a shallow hole, and I'm going to die. And so I was, you know, defending my life vigorously. And anyways, there's a video of it. After me being strangled, I get off the ground, and this girl wants to interview me now. And I'm like, oh, my God, these people just attacked me, nearly killed me. I begged for my life. And now she wants to interview me, and that's where the video starts. And they have my cell phone now, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't call for help. I've got to get out of here. So I try to retreat, and the guy attacks me again on film. Guess who they arrested?
You.
I'm guessing you.
Me. They arrested me for felonious assault because the guy that started it tripped and fell and hit his head on a trailer, busted his head open, and they arrested me for felonious assault.
It was all
So
all
I naturally-
planned. I think it was
So
all
exactly,
planned.
like it's called a honey pot or a honey trap. So anyways, and they earlier in the night, this is how it started. I get to the campground, they're occupying my reserve site, and I was super kind to them. I walked up to them. I was like, hey, is there like a discrepancy here? You know, is there like a mistake? Did someone make a mistake? Like, do you guys have paperwork, you know, as well? Like, is this accidentally double booked? And they were like, no, you know, we just commandeered your site because we wanted it, you know. And I was like, that's not how reservations work. So you guys got to move. And they ended up finally moving. I got established. I was waiting for my girlfriend and my sister. They were coming the next morning, and my niece and nephew. So I had like a jet ski, kayaks, mountain bikes, and I was like going early to set up for the family and my niece and my nephew. And so yeah, they attack me, and I retreat. I'm on film retreating. I hear the guy coming. Not at that point. I had just suffered an anoxic brain injury from the strangulation, a severely right sprained hip and right sprained ankle. I had Crocs on without the go straps on, and my shoes were kicked off. I lost my hat. I mean, like I literally was fighting for my life. And then this girl starts rolling video, and I'm like, F you, F all of you, you know, like. And the reason I responded that way was because I felt that there was another attack that was coming that was imminent, and I was right. So the first guy attacks me. The second guy attacks me. What he did was, when the first guy came at me, I put him down. The second guy, I didn't expect him to join in. He snuck up from behind me and grabbed me around my neck in a chokehold, and he was trying to wrench me back off my feet, and I was throwing him around trying to shake him off, and I couldn't. And he got planted, and we went back. As we went back, the first guy that was recovering from being punched tried to retreat around both of us, and all three of us fell back at the same time. And that's how the guy ended up hurting his head. And so anyways, I got an attorney, and that attorney was from that jurisdiction, not from where I live. And that attorney worked deliberately against me for the prosecutor, so I fired him. I got 2 more attorneys, and they did the same thing. and now I'm representing myself. And what I told you earlier was on August 2nd, I filed a 12-page motion to dismiss, completely laying out all of this. It's a public record. And how it's a malicious prosecution, abuse of bias, or it's abuse of discretion. And so 2 days or 3 days after I delivered that to the courthouse, hand delivered it to the prosecutor, that happened on August 2nd. On August 5th at 2:57 p.m. was when I was taken out on my motorcycle, and it didn't seem like an accident. It seemed like the guy intentionally pulled out in front of me and tried to end my life.
Probably
and
did.
that was 10 days before. That was 10 days before I was set to go to trial, where I planned to represent myself. And all of the evidence, the only evidence that they're prosecuting me with, is the testimony of the people who attacked me. That's it.
That's why she was recording that video.
Oh, dude, and here's another thing. This could be another reason why, I may have lost my life. I caught the prosecutor after I fired the second team of attorneys. They gave me the discovery. So the reason I fired the first attorney was because he wouldn't get the discovery. And I said, if you're not going to get the discovery, man, I want you to withdraw. So he withdrew. Then I got the next set of attorneys, two of them. And I was like, look, file a motion for discovery. They did. It took months to get it. When I finally got it from my attorneys, it was 1/4 of what was available. And that video is actually 5 minutes and 19 seconds long. But my attorneys were given 1 minute and 27 seconds of it. So the prosecutor deliberately withheld exculpatory evidence, which is a violation of Ohio Criminal Rule 16 and
like the Brady Act or something? Yeah.
Brady v. Maryland, 1963. So that's the basis for my my dismissal. And so they can't do that. They cannot withhold exculpatory evidence. They cannot tamper with evidence. They tampered with the evidence and withheld it. And what I've learned through this experience, which is all new to me, is that this happens all around the United States. I actually super chatted the DUI guy, and I was like, "Hey, man, what if a prosecutor is caught breaking the law? Violating my civil rights? Like, what if I catch her during the proceedings doing this?" And this is what he said. It's not verbatim, but he said, He's like, I can't think of a case where a prosecutor has ever been held accountable for this type of misconduct because no one ever catches them because they're so freaking sneaky. And I caught them.
Yep.
And then I filed this motion laying out this, all of the civil rights violations, all of the crimes they committed against me. And then 3 days later, I'm laying in the middle of an intersection with my femur sticking out of my leg and my tibia and my fibula. And I needed 11 bags of blood to survive it. They gave me 11 transfusions and 4 surgeries. And they told me it was going to take up to 3 years to get back on my feet. But they don't know me, and it's only been 7 months.
So what I'm hearing is you don't believe in coincidences either.
Nah, dude, I'm my mom actually brought it to my attention. She said that she was like, you should check your car and your motorcycle. She's like, you should go to the impound lot and check your motorcycle for tracking device.
That's interesting.
And then I thought,
hold on.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, man. I
sure,
gotta do some housekeeping.
No, you're good. No, you're good. You're good.
So I'm gonna mute you real quick. So KT, listen, man, I'm not trying to cast any shade. I've been hearing this pretty much nonstop from you. The experiences Chile has gone through has made him the man he is. His passion to help people, to educate them. He has been attacked for that. Then you say rats and moon a whole lot, even just in the last couple of years, by regular people pretending to be in this fight. Now listen, I've got one Messiah, and that's Jesus Christ. Chile is not my savior. Okay. And when you all want to prostrate and bow before Chile, that's a choice. You can make that choice. But, I choose to not listen. I went through 8 foster homes, one group home, got adopted at the age of 8.5. I could hate the world right now. I can say I was a victim. I could say, oh, woe is me, and nobody ever wanted me, and no one loved me, no family wanted me, and this, that. I can make all the excuses in the world and be a victim. I could wear that victim thing. No, do not ever label me as a victim. I'm an overcomer. I'm more than an overcomer. I'm a conqueror. I have the victory. I live in the victory, and it's not my victory; it's Christ's victory. That's me. I'm going to speak for me. If you want to perpetuate some kind of victim narrative with Chile, who's supposed to be this alpha male, this strong leader, then if he wants to be, how can he be an alpha and how can he be a victim all at the same time? These things are incongruent. So what I would do is I would do him a favor and stop pretending that he's such a victim, because it weakens his leadership role. He's either a conqueror or he's conquered. It can't be both. 4 is equal to 4 is not true and false. Not in the world that I live in. That said, housekeeping, and please, Miss KT, don't take that as a rebuke or an insult. I've got one Messiah, I've got one Savior, and he already died on the cross. All right, go ahead. I'm going to unmute you there. Know your rights. But I think Danny wanted to say something.
Yeah, praise the Lord there for you, GS. You said it right. You know, you can either be the victim or play the victim, or you can be the conqueror, and it's one day at a time. No matter what you're doing, you're here for today. You can't. Tomorrow's not promised. Amen. That being said, you know, how do you get to be a part of the upper echelon the quickest way possible? Being a police officer. When I started watching some of these audits, I started watching the income that these police officers are getting. You know, when they're getting up to 3 times what the normal public is getting, you know, it can make out here in a neighborhood. And it's ridiculous. And all they're doing is carrying a gun, walking around saying they're here to service the public, which more times than not, they're out here to rape the public, for lack of a better word. And what I'm meaning by that is, you know, a perfect example is traffic violations. Where's the victim? I just did a road trip. It was 6 hours. I went from where I live down to a memorial for my cousin. And we went 3 hours down, 3 hours back. And the whole time people were passing me on the highway. And my other cousin sitting in the passenger seat on the way back as I was driving. And he's talking about how, you know, that person should be arrested. You know, they're speeding. They're doing this. They're doing that. They're doing that. I said, who's the victim? He says, we are. I said, how? Tell me how that guy passing us, getting on up. Now he hasn't got nobody in front of him, nobody in back of him, and he hasn't caused anybody any damage or hurt. Who's the victim?
He has a right to travel.
Yeah. And we're looking there, and we see state police officers pulling people over right and left. So I thought about this a long time ago, and it'll. No, you're right. You'll understand this and agree with me on this. If 10 people get pulled over on a highway, then what was the majority of those people's decision the speed was for that highway for that period of time? You know, who was the guy who chose to put that sign up there? Wasn't me.
Well, I mean, that's the thing with living in a society you can choose to live in. And listen, and this might rub some people the wrong way. You have every right to go outside of whatever jurisdiction you're able to go outside of. That might mean going outside of the continental United States and forging your own country. In my opinion, you're part of a society. You're supposed to exist within the rules of that society. The problem is people that are in power, they're not living by the same rules that they're trying to make us adhere to. And that's where I think the rub is, that a lot of citizens are getting angry, like Danny, myself even. Some people that are being hard done by. I just say there's a trade-off. Oh, I got to mute the mic there.
So
it's okay. It's okay. Targeted. So there's a trade-off, right? But what the heck is that sound? Oh, it's the pipes from the water run. My wife's doing laundry. So there's a trade-off, right? But the problem is we, the people, have gotten slack. We, the people, have gotten weak. We, the people, have not maintained our hold on the government. And it's our fault that the government is out of control. We are the government. Look in the freaking mirror and you know exactly why you're being ruled the way you're being ruled, is because you're allowing yourself to be ruled. They're stepping on your neck just so much that they're cutting off some of the blood supply and some of the oxygen, but not enough to make you black out. All right. So that otherwise there would be a revolt.
Well, so just like I know you're about the same age I am, and you're from the same state I am, GS. So, and know your rights is from Ohio, so he's next door. We know about the split speed limits, but we also were in that area where they decided that we all had to drive 55 mile an hour. Well, if that was the case for back then why aren't we driving 55 mile an hour today? It all had to do with our supply of gasoline at the time, not about safety, not about anything else. So it's the upper echelon putting their finger on you.
I'm sorry to interrupt, sir. Respectfully, I think it had to do with the braking system back then. Have you ever tried to stop one of those old 1950s? It's a full-time job trying to steer it and stop it, brother. So it had to do with the technology of being able to stop quicker, the efficiency of gas. I mean, I think it should be like the Autobahn. Having driven on the Autobahn, you're over on the right-hand lane unless you're passing, and they haul butt, man. I mean, I went with a Ford Focus all the way from Hohenfels, Germany to Vicenza, Italy, in like 12 hours. And that little thing hummed, dude. We bought it in Europe, man. I love the Autobahn. I think you're right. I think men should be allowed to be men. I'm going to unmute you. No, you're right, because it looks like you're ready to say something. Men should be allowed to be men. That's it.
Now, before Know Your Rights comes up, I'm going to go ahead and step back out and let you guys get at it. Sit back and listen like I usually do.
Awesome, man. Good. Thanks for contributing.
We appreciate you, man.
Hey,
yeah, God bless everybody. Be safe out there.
Mods, make sure you put Danny's Thoughts channel up there if you already haven't. Throw him a subscription, guys, or what do you call it? A sub to him. So let's see. Irish Rover says, laugh my ass out. When I was young, I wondered how Jim Jones got so many to do what they did. Now that I'm old, I completely understand now. Yeah. See, I'm not interested in being a cult leader. I think I'd be a really good one. I have no interest in being a cult leader. I have no interest in people following me around saying, yes, dear leader, no, dear leader. No, I have no interest. I want people to challenge me at every point respectfully, in good faith, intellectually. That's what I'm seeking. Targeted, your mic is muted, so if you... And Brick, we haven't heard from you. Go ahead, Targeted.
Yeah, I after hearing your story, Know Your Rights, I had the same exact stuff happening to me. In 2017, the chief of police in my town here, little small town, and obviously it's Patton is the name of the town. It's 1,600 people or less. He filed a false police report in Pennsylvania, and we're a Commonwealth state. So again, they like to prosecute people without a victim, but he tried to charge me with a false police report because the homeowner was like a Karen. I was in a vehicle accident, and I passed the breathalyzer and the field sobriety test, and I was free to go. She started complaining and saying, "What do you mean he's not going to jail?" So she happened to be on the town council. And next thing you know, the chief of police comes over and he's looking for a reason now as I'm getting my stuff out of my vehicle to tow it. And he totally flipped around and changed his attitude. He found a bunch of reasons and then ended up tricking me into going for a DUI. I never did see the toxicology, but long story short, there was a vehicle in the middle of the road. The homeowner's son chased it down the road. It took off. It fled the scene. And that's what they responded to. She called 911, right? And said this car fled the scene of the accident. I didn't report this other car, but when I got my charges in the mail, he charged me with false swearing, lying to a police officer, and claimed that I made up a phantom car to blame this wreck on. Okay, but there's a 911 call that exists that proves that I didn't report it, that the homeowner reported this car fleeing the scene. And I find out there's no coincidences. I don't believe in the coincidences either. A couple years later, I find out just through sheer coincidence, whatever, that kid that chased the car down the road, I brought it up. I was sitting next to him at the bar, and I said, "You remember when you chased that car down the road, Wesley?" And he said, "That never happened. That never happened." And it struck me. It opened my eyes, and I realized what had taken place. I realized that the cop told the homeowners to lie as well. And it was all over and done with. It didn't make any sense to me, but I realized the scope of it, so I started speaking out and just telling people, he's corrupt, and they were willing to do this for no reason. It was completely unnecessary. So that's when they started targeting me. They tried to kill me twice. Absolutely. This officer, I call him Officer Dillhole. If his name's Dill, right? I call him Dillhole. If you follow my channel, there's a lot of content about it, Dillhole, but
guys, I'm gonna have